When the air gets warm, people go and do things, right? When I was 15, I watched Damien Chazelle's La La Land for the first time. At the time, I was really getting into film as an art form, and it was one of the first movies I watched for the explicit reason of expanding my taste. I had heard it described as a musical for people who don't like musicals, which sounded great to me at the time, because I was a person who didn't like musicals. La La Land turned out to be one of the most important experiences with a movie I would ever have. It happened to be in April when I watched it, and I do think there's a transformative quality to that. I think of summer as this idea of, warm weather and movement, but, spring precedes it with a freshness in its step. Everything is regrowing, seeds are sprouting, it always activates this sort of countdown period in my brain. The engines are starting, and I have to ask, where am I going? What am I doing? La La Land begins with the camera gliding through a congested Los Angeles highway, everyone in the midst of their excruciating daily commutes. The heat has everyone with their windows wide open, and with it, all the music is audible. It's the communal transience of the whole thing that's so striking. Everyone is there to pursue something, the individuality of each journey sung out by their choice of music. It's downright saccharine in how it romanticizes the Hollywood dream. Everyone leaps from their vehicles to sing together about chasing their dreams day after day. Another Day of Sun and the second song, Someone in the Crowd, are excitable and wide-eyed, but ultimately abstract in their hunger and ambition. There's no solid course or specific ambition, it's all about just this idea of persistence. The first time the film lets us in on the real heart of the story is during Mia's quiet verse within Someone in the Crowd. She expresses disillusionment at the dream being this thing that's just one lucky conversation or one audition away. It's a vision of, making it that reflects happenstance rather than a cultivated transformation. This removal from the glitz and daydreaming is beautifully captured by the slowing of the music as she walks through all the noise and extravagance and schmoozing, only for this moment of introspection and awakening of a deeper desire to be immediately put back to sleep by someone jumping into the pool, and the noise blares in full motion, this 360 shot driving home the waking dream in just sheer cinematic perfection. Real quick, thank you for stopping by. I just wanted to pay lip service to the YouTube growth hustle real quick and say, if you like this video, if you like stuff like this, then hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Each one means a lot. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and I'd love it if you join me on that journey. Sometimes it's interesting to think about what exactly it takes to motivate you, or at least what gives you perspective of what you want. Sebastian has this niche goal and this passionate belief in this vision he has that he's repeatedly told is outdated or rigid. He's a jazz purist. He's got this stool he treasures because a jazz man sat on it. He wants to open an old-style jazz club because it's simply what he wants out of life, to preserve a slice of the community and artistry that he loves so dearly. When he meets Mia, he's struggling in life, stuck in passionless suffocations adjacent to his dreams. So what ends up driving him? Is it just the thought of, one day? Once they're together, is it now the need to provide? He accepts the lucrative gig performing to large audiences at the expense of his relationship, and it's just no different from what he was doing before. And what about Mia? Earlier in the movie, there's a scene where she auditions for a part, and the response from casting is completely indifferent. And when she leaves, there's half a dozen more actresses just like her.
See it. You have to see what's at stake. I mean, look at these.
Whenever I get excited about something I'm enjoying, I often think of the way Sebastian says very, very exciting when he's showing Mia his favorite jazz bar. The pure enthusiasm of how he describes the interplay of the musicians as they play in real time. It's such a clear and infectious portrayal of how it feels to observe and just feel that mechanism that your passions function through. No matter how many empty notes you play in a restaurant or how many coffees you make for people more successful than you, when you're reminded of the essence of that passion, the joy just simply doesn't fade. It's life itself playing out in front of you. I have grown to deeply despise. I have grown to deeply despise the feeling of perpetual idleness. I'm certain it's due to exactly what I was doing, or more accurately, not doing back when I was 15. The same era of life where I watched La La Land half a dozen summers, where the only thing of note I took from it was the movies or shows that impacted me. It's not exactly life, it's reflections of life. What is life? The initial version of City of Stars is a standout in the film for me. In a city full of stars chasing light, there's this new and uncertain road put on the map. As their love develops, the film takes on this effortless flow. The energy is high, the colors blend, the idea of the Hollywood dream is suddenly in the background. The uncertainty is now accompanied by a certain peace. City of stars, he never shined so brightly. The stars move away from being the abstract idea of fame and career to being about the light between Mia and Sebastian. The movie is all about moving towards something and making it work out. It's all in what you bring to the table. But where is the fulfillment in playing for money and commitments that your heart couldn't be further from? To reach where you believe you're going, where is the fulfillment in waiting for someone to notice you, that audition, that someone in the crowd? Mia throws herself into creating something of her own. What has auditioning ever done for her anyways? There's humility in living among fame and glamour, productions happening left and right, and Mia resolving to work thanklessly on her own project. The vague dream, the generic motions of the Hollywood grind suddenly seem so senseless in comparison to genuine creation. It's not the silver screen, it's exercising the heart's capacity for expression as the key to making it for yourself. When finally prompted to bring something of herself to an audition, Mia opens up with this passionate ode to dreamers. And as they move, and as they do their work, life naturally drifts the two of them apart. The conditions found in that stage of their life, at that point in their minds that facilitated this natural chemistry between the two of them, it just simply isn't there anymore. They moved their lives on, and moved on life did. Mia becomes exactly who she desired to be at the beginning of the movie through genuine work and effort. Sebastian lands exactly where he wanted to be, rendering his passion into the world without compromise, though taking some advice. The time of their relationship passed, and they rode the wave to their destination. And they never stopped caring for each other, thankful for the role that the other played in the torrent of earnest ambition. The montage that plays at the climax of the movie, where all the musical motifs are intertwined for this grand sequence that is the fairy tale version of Mia and Sebastian's story, where everything worked seamlessly, where they made all the right choices that seemed so obvious with their love in mind. When they step out of the idealized versions of what actually happened, the world turns to a stage. It's appealing, but overtly two-dimensional. You don't live in La La Land, you live here. As artificial as the montage is, it's still so beautiful. The movie just overwhelms me with this feeling of melancholy, of vision and destiny. It's a glimmer of the nature of desire and that inner movement of passion. It's hardly stardom, it's expression and purpose that is the driver for the inner soul. It ferments and matures underneath the dreams, the abstractions of what it must be like to make it. How deep is that feeling within yourself that a relationship must be collateral damage in achieving it? Or was a relationship simply a mutually necessary and transient stop in going where you're meant to go? La La Land is the reality of dreams as they shed idealism and fantasy and work their way into reality, and it's one of the most beautiful films I have ever seen. Thank you so much for watching this video, and let me know how you feel about this movie in the comments. Your favorite song from it, anything. I want to hear from you. I put out videos twice every month about movies and TV and other types of art and media. I really do try to put something that genuinely matters to me in each and every video I make, so a like and a comment and a subscribe means a whole lot. I always feel torn between trying to overtly play the YouTube game or simply saying what matters to me, doing what looks nice to me, and just leaving it at that. But I do genuinely want to make something of this channel, so I think it would only be right to treat it like I want it to grow. And hey, if you do end up subscribing, let me know what you want to see from me. I am open to any suggestions, thoughts, or feedback. I'm also on Instagram and Letterboxd, so follow me over there if you like. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. You know, something worth noting, I had considered tying in George Harrison's What Is Life into this part of the video. Because, I mean, how's the song go where he's like, tell me what is my life without you, who am I without your love? Well, I feel like that could be kind of taken as to be about art. I mean, I don't know if it was, it was probably about his wife, but, like, that's kind of the feeling that La La Land imparts, you know? But specifically about passion.